My name is Matthew. I'll be your host today for Ashton College's live online info session for our ISO 9001 2015 edition. I'm your host. We have our instructor, Bob, who I'm going to be talking about for most of this. He's asked some questions that give you a bunch of information that you'd like to know. Rika is going to be managing the back end, making sure everything goes smoothly. And Maggie will be joining us to talk a little bit about the admissions information for this course further on into this session today. Bob, how are we doing?
Great. Thank you for giving me this chance to speak about ISO.
Hey, always a pleasure. So, to start things off, for people who don't know you, could you share with us a little bit about your experience, background, what's brought you to teaching?
Yeah, so my name is Bob Astesham. I have 20 years of experience in quality assurance, quality systems management, process improvement, and project management. And I did work for major Canadian organizations from private sector to public sector. And right now I'm working for a municipal government. I'm the quality assurance manager. I'm a professional engineer by trade. I have Lean Six Sigma certification, project management qualification. I'm a lead internal quality auditor and environmental auditor as well.
Hey, perfect. Definitely sounds like a pretty good person to have teaching this type of course. Yeah, in fact, almost sounds like my dad's listing off his qualifications. He's a professional engineer, much of this pretty similar background to you. Uh, so, just so we have some context, what exactly is ISO 9001, specifically 2015, and why is it important?
Yeah, so ISO 9001 is a quality management system. So basically, it's a system which is built on processes documentation so that organizations can document their processes, their operations to ensure that their products and services going to meet the regulatory and customer requirements. And why it's important, basically, it provides a base ground to ensure that when people performing, staff members are conducting or performing their job to deliver services or products, they are doing everything in a consistent fashion. And each and every time they will be meeting the quality requirements as outlined by the customers. And that essentially will enhance the productivity, reduce the rates of defects, and enhance the customer satisfaction. The another aspect of ISO 9000, it's basically internationally recognized standard. So if an organization has ISO 9000 standard in Vancouver, they can do trade in Japan as well. Because when you will be talking to your customer to assure them that you can meet their requirements on consistent basis, you can say, hey, we have a quality management system based on international standard. So our products and services will be delivered as per your requirements consistently.
Simple enough. And does 2015 refer to an addition then?
So 2015 ISO time to time keep revising the standard to after every few years to ensure that quality management system requirement is in alignment with changing environment. As you know, the world keeps changing, the operating environment in which we operate, we have changes in codes, bylaws, standards. So accordingly, ISO organization, which is an international organization, after every few years, they are introducing a new version. So 2015 is the year in which the last revision of ISO was done.
All right. So, we've obviously talked about how this is internationally recognized. Can you name any examples of like some big name companies that people would know right off the top of their head that are using this system?
Yeah, so actually, I guess millions of organizations they adopted across the world, and big companies from Canadian perspective, I would say it's been implemented at many municipal organizations, provincial government also adopted it, and many private sector industries they adopted as well. So just to name few, GM Canada and the city of Edmonton, they are also following and implemented the ISO 9000 requirements. City of Calgary, they also implemented ISO standards.
Yeah, no, and actually, like this is funny enough ends up being one of the times that I kind of have an answer to the question because like I've worked with through like GM plants and was
Yeah.
exposed to it there many
Mhm.
years ago. That's a bit too much about me for this session. So What sort of background knowledge or prior experience are students going to need to do well in this course? Do I have to be a professional engineer?
No, they don't have to be a professional engineer. I mean, down the road, they can become a professional engineer. But quality management system is basically a set of good business practices. So as long as you have, let's say on academic level, you have a high school diploma or a college degree, you should be, I guess, all set to basically digest and absorb the requirements outlined in the standard. If you have some training, basic training about basic quality concepts, that's good enough with a college degree or high school diploma. If not, during the course, we will try to bring everyone on the same page by giving them basic concepts of quality assurance, quality management. So we'll ensure that whoever is taking this course with some basic knowledge and with a diploma or degree from a college, we will ensure that they will be able to digest and absorb as much as they can. So I think it's well suited for diverse population. You don't have to have a background in engineering. So it's basically, as I said, common business practices course.
Okay, simple enough. And obviously, we kind of mentioned a couple of the big benefits of ISO, like that because it's internationally recognized. Once your facility is compliant, you can do business on an international framework. But are there any other benefits that helps an organization that that an organization should be looking out for? Is there any benefits on an individual level from knowing this
Yeah.
process?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a good question. So there are many, many benefits, and that's why I guess tons of organizations around the world, and I can share the number later, they adopted this ISO standard. So for example, ISO is all about enhancing customer satisfaction. So your business will grow if you start meeting the customer requirements. If you feel your customer happy, they will basically be a return customers and your business will grow with time. The second thing ISO is saying, it's all about quality management starts from the big guy office. So they are saying management should show the commitment with respect to implementation of quality management system. And once management is committed, they have to define their objectives. What are the objectives of their business? So for example, if they want to increase productivity by 10%, or they want to enhance customer satisfaction by 5%, or they want to meet with the regulatory requirement by 100%. So after defining the objectives, those objectives should be measured and KPIs need to be developed, uh, key performance indicators, so that organization can track and monitors the performance measures. And if they're going off the line, ISO is asking to implement corrective preventive action. So it's a constant mechanism to keep an eye on your performance. It also helps to meet the regulatory or legal requirements. It's also asking organizations, when you're making business decisions, use statistical analysis or use the data analytics, because when you are making the decision, it should be factual decision. So ISO is also asking to promote continuous improvement. So ISO is based on a model which is called plan, do, check, and act. So plan your activities, plan your operations, services, implement those services by giving training. So as a result of ISO, you need to provide training to a staff. So another advantage is staff will become competent. So plan your activities, your services, your product, implement, run your operations, provide training to your staff members, and then check are your products and services meeting the requirements of customers or not. And if it's not meeting or if it's below the par, then you need to implement corrective and improvement action. So in short, it's basically a plan, do, check, and act cycle. Management has to make commitment. The management has to provide resources and training to staff members. Staff members have to follow the processes and procedures to ensure product and services will be as per the standard or requirement of the customer. And if it's meeting the requirement, it's great. If not, then ISO is saying, hey, look at senior management. And senior management basically will be doing analysis of information and data and making appropriate corrective and preventive action.
Simple enough. Definitely something that definitely a little bit of something for everyone. I like how it's like like because it's a system that requires buy-in from everybody to really work, like doesn't matter what part of an organization you're in or where you're making the decisions, or if you're making any decisions, if you know it and you're working in the system, better.
Right. Yeah. And I gave a long answer, and the short answer is basically enhancement in customer satisfaction, compliance with the regulatory standard, increase in productivity, increase in staff competence. So these are some what you call benefits to mention.
Yep, right on. Are there any challenges or limits in an ISO sort of framework?
So there, just like every business decision, the challenge is basically to sell it initially. So change management, because all of us, we are humans and it's human nature to resist a change. So if you are going in an organization where I guess no system has been implemented before ISO 9000, or let's say people are comfortable the way in which they are doing things. So initially you have to work on change management aspects so that people can buy it. And once they have buy-in, they will start taking responsibility, they will buy in. You and the organization have to use empowerment. They have to give empowerment to staff so that staff can adopt, buy, and implement. So I would say there's only one challenge. Initially, you have to engage and involve and sell the change to all stakeholders.
So you have to convince humans to do something. That's the whole challenge.
That's right. So maybe they have to start following a new process. Maybe they have to document their day-to-day activities. And as you know, as a human, sometimes we don't like change. But if you can start showing the benefits of ISO 9000, that if you're documenting things, then in future, everybody, whoever will be performing that particular task will be doing in consistent fashion, customer requirements will be met. So you have to basically convince people with logic, with number, with rationale. And once you will be able to sell the change, then system is a seller.
All right. Yeah, no, and definitely not like you said, like humans being resistant to change. If the only challenge of this system is that you have to convince people to do things differently, well, that's not a system problem. That's a human problem.
Yeah.
Totally different.
So it's a bit of a cultural change because
Yeah.
sometimes we are comfortable the way we do. So if I'm making a pot of coffee, I have specific method to do it. But if you're coming and asking me as a change leader that, hey, now we have a better method, a different machine to use it. So you have to sell me the new idea. Otherwise, I will resist the change. But the change is always when you're doing ISO 9000 or any other project, that's a standard business practice that work on your change management skill. And ISO is basically in this course, I'll be covering the change management in one of my module anyway. So we will prepare our participants to face any challenge, any change.
All right. So, since we're talking a lot about processes, words, how about we talk a little bit about the general structure of this course? What are some of the main topics we're going to cover?
Yeah, so as I said, it's a set of business practices. So some of the topics will be, there will be modules. So one module, for example, will be talking about the ISO 9001 requirements. And next module will be defining all the terms. So I'll be introducing the basic concepts and the terms to participants of the course so they can have some base. Then we'll be start talking about which documents are required under this quality management system and how people can write procedures, processes, standard work operations, how they can write down different tiers of documents and what's the difference between different tiers of documents. And then we'll be talking about the audits itself. So during the course, we'll be giving them tools and templates and teaching them about auditing. Because once the system will be implemented, once the documentation will be done, managers and staff, they have to adopt and implement the processes. The next step will be the auditors, they have to audit. So the course participants will learn how they can audit the implementation and effectiveness of implementation by doing audit tech practices. So one module will be covering the auditing in details. And once the auditing module will be over, Then we'll be talking about how to write the audit reports and how to do the follow-ups. Follow-up means, let's say auditor is going to find a non-conformance in any process. So how they can ensure, how they can go back and conduct an investigation or audit that, yeah, that non-conformance or gap has been addressed by the relevant business area. So follow-up process will include that how they can write non-conformance and what's the difference between a major non-conformance or minor non-conformance. So follow-up process will be done, and the last module will be talking about when you have an ISO 9000 system in place, you have to have accreditation from third party. So how they can coordinate with the third party and how they can help and prepare their organization to face a third party audit. So this will be the basic structure of the course, right from the concepts and terms up to the external third party audit prep work.
Simple enough. All right. So how would you describe your own teaching style?
So my own teaching style is basically very interactive. My goal is to prepare my student to get into practical work, find a job, and apply the skills which they're going to learn in the course. So it's very interactive. So for example, I use lots of case studies during my course, real world case studies. So students can practice and learn by using those case studies and those models. During the class, I'm doing presentations. I'm giving them opportunity and chance to ask questions anytime. Basically introducing what you call encouraging the group discussion within the class. So I'm breaking down the class in small settings and time to time popping up in different groups and helping them to facilitate their discussion. And they can also reach me whenever they need help. I'm available to help them if they have any specific questions or any concern. And basically, there will be assignments and there will be midterm exam, but students will be prepared accordingly. And as I said, my sessions will be interactive, open communication, and they can reach to me beyond the class as well.
Simple. Yeah, no, that does sound good. Okay. So what are your expectations then? Because it does sound like you have some work, some assignments that are put into this. It definitely sounds like you can't just show up 5 minutes before, turn on your computer, like close it the instant the class is done, forget about it until it's 5 minutes before the next session. How much time are you expecting them to be spending on assignments and reviewing material outside of the class?
I would say a couple to few hours every week because I know it's a real life. People are busy. Some of them, they must be working. So I don't want to make things very difficult for them. I'm here to help them, prepare them to face real world and get a practical job in real world. So even though they have to do some work, but it won't be overwhelming. And the class will basically, the class teaching will be helping them to get it done or relatively quick. Still, they have to spend a couple to few hours in a week, but class lessons will be helping them to get it done.
Okay then. And what do you think students are going to enjoy the most about this course?
So the course is basically my satisfaction is once the students are done. In the past, I saw it so many times, they are ready to meet the real world challenge and they are ready to basically start contributing in any organization after having this course. Because as I said, modules after modules, they will be getting training, practical on-hands training. So when I see my students are capable, they learn from this course, for example, auditing tricks and techniques, and they know how to write documentation. They know about different tiers of documents. They are competent about the requirements. So that gives me kind of satisfaction that, yeah, I contributed to their learning and they are all set to contribute in real world.
Okay. So we've obviously talked a lot about how this is like a big quality assurance, like bring everything up to standards, process work. What kind of like job opportunities does this parlay into somebody for people who have experience with ISO 9001? Obviously, manufacturing, engineering stands out, but you talk about municipal governments putting this into play?
Yeah, so basically ISO 9000, as I said, it's a quality management system. So it's a good fit for small organizations, big organizations, and whether they are in the municipal sector or whether they are in private sector. So it's basically a quality management standard, a set of procedures, processes to ensure that projects and services will be delivered as per regulatory requirement and as per customer needs. So operations might be different for a municipal government compared to GM Canada, which makes car. But
Hmm.
it's all about business, ensuring that customer requirements will be met, ensuring that we're going to meet all legal obligations. So for each organization, ISO is saying, for example, identify your context. So when you are defining your context, you need to identify applicable laws, you need to identify your potential customer, you need to identify your stakeholders, and then basically review and understand their requirements, and then accordingly plan your products and services. Once you have a plan that, yeah, these are the requirements of my customers and these are the services or products I need to provide, then you deliver and provide resources to your staff members and provide them training as well and provide them machines, equipment, and other human resources. And staff then implement the action plans or how they're going to deliver the products and services. So it doesn't matter, the product might be different, the service might be different, but the structure is same in every organization, whether it's a municipal government, federal government, or Canada Post, they can take advantage of it. I forgot to mention, I used to work for Canada Post. Of course, their job is to deliver packages. They were having ISO 9000 in place, and their quality system, ISO 9000, was pretty mature. And for example, their objective was on-time delivery or next day delivery in case of courier service. So they were also using ISO 9000. So it's a good fit for any organization, whether it's big, small, irrespective of the sector, because the basic business practice or structure is same.
Yeah, I mean, definitely sounds like it's everywhere to the point where, do you need ISO 9000? Well, it depends. Do you have a process of doing things? Yes, probably helps.
And that is true. So if you want to enhance consistency of your services and products, and if you want to ensure your customer will be happy, then it's a way to go. You want to have documented processes, you want to have standard operating procedures to ensure that, yeah, you're going to deliver your products and your services in timely fashion on consistent basis as per customer needs. So irrespective of nature of your product or your service, you need to have, as a good business practice, you need to have a quality management system. And it's good to have a standard which is offered and established by an international organization. You ask about what type of jobs are available. So after doing this course, you can one can qualify actually for, there are many jobs out there with different titles. For example, they can work as a quality auditor. So companies who have ISO 9000 or a similar standard, which is called QS 9000 for automotive sector. So course participants, they can apply for a job with the title quality auditor. So quality auditing will be one area to step in. The other potential area would be quality analyst. So as a quality analyst, as I was mentioning, and I was giving you the long answer. So ISO is saying make factual decisions by using data analytics. So after having this course, people can work as a quality analyst to analyze the data, especially key performance measures, or especially data about customer satisfaction or on-time delivery, for example. And they can also, as an analyst, they can also write documentation for the company. For example, standard operating procedures, or sometimes the policy document. So two key positions would be quality auditors and quality analyst.
All right. Definitely sounds like that's a pretty good idea of like thing like yes, quality auditor, quality analyst, big targets. But if you're involved in the process, probably can help you out. So I'm gonna move back here, like just to get on to the next question here. You talked about having a very interactive style for your classes, like very open, so chat box, discussion forum in between classes.
Right.
Like anytime someone wants to speak up, they can.
Absolutely. So I love if my students gonna challenge me because it's all about learning. So it will be very open communication. I use my effective listening skills, and I'm always open to answer any questions or facilitate any discussion. I don't want them to hold back. I like interactive style. So as long as we can clarify their concerns, their questions, that's the biggest help we can provide.
Okay. So, what does success look like in this course then? Like, how do students help themselves succeed?
So success to me, it's beyond great. So to me, success is beyond great. As long as they are taking advantage of class lessons, and if they can develop skills in auditing, in procedures writing, as long as they can define and understand ISO requirements, to me, they will be successful. And we'll make sure through lectures and interactive sessions that they're going to be successful.
Okay. So, we have a different question, vein here. So do you have students that are brand new to this stuff mostly, or do you have people that are perhaps changing careers, or do you have people that have been like working in like this sort of like quality sort of field, or like experienced engineers who are only just coming back to it? Again, not necessarily that you have to be an engineer to take this. That's just the example I'm thinking of.
So this course, I would say, it's for a diverse group. So if you have some background in quality, it's good. Then you can basically build on your previous experience, previous learning. If you are changing your career, this is also another great path because the world is changing. It's all about being efficient, being effective. So when companies, I was talking about the government organizations, they are also now very focused to be effective and efficient. So if you have a different background, so probably this course or leaning into the world of quality will be an additional skills which one should have because there's a horizon about effectiveness and efficiency. And many organizations, they are very focused in this challenging world for cost savings, effectiveness, and efficiency. So this is a good area to step in and build on your skills.
All right. Okay. So, a lot of educational paths out there. Why should students be taking this specific course here with us at Ashton College?
So why they should take, could
Why
you
should they
repeat
be
that?
taking? Yeah, sorry. There's a lot of educational paths out there, a lot of different ways to learn. Why should students be choosing to take this specific course with us here at Ashton College, to take this course with you, rather?
Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, so the reason is, as I was mentioning, that I'm in this field for last 20 years. And through Ashton, students can take advantage of my experience. I have about 6 ISO 9001 certification under my belt. So mean I did develop and implement ISO 9000 for 6 major organizations. So I can share my real world experience with them. Plus, our course will be based on modules, and those modules will be giving you comprehensive background about ISO requirements, ISO auditing, ISO documentation, and how you can basically differentiate between corrective action, improvement action, and how you can help your organization to get ready for an external audit. So even though we have modules and those modules are comprehensive, but those modules are based on common sense techniques. So everybody with diverse background would be able to understand and digest those modules. So nice and easy, our path is basically a smart and comprehensive path. So we'll help you to get ready for the real world. Our modules are comprehensive, but yet simple enough to digest and get ready to find a real job in real world.
All right. Looks like I'm reaching the end of my list of questions for us today. Do you have any final thoughts or words of advice you want to share with everyone before we start wrapping up and move to other things?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and thanks again, Matthew, for asking these questions and giving me the opportunity.
Yep.
So yes,
We're not done yet. We're gonna after this. We still have to hear from Maggie, but just to wrap up the list of questions I have prepared
sure.
today. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I will share my final thoughts,
Yep.
and by all means, Maggie can jump
Yep.
in. So I was saying that ISO 9000 it's a quality management system, and many organizations, they are adopting it, and the reason they are adopting it, the focus of this word is now about cost savings, effectiveness, and efficiency. Means doing more with less resources. And when it's the approach, organizations are looking for a quality management system. A system consists of processes, procedures, which can really help them to enhance their productivity, reduce their cost. And if you want to enhance productivity and if you want to reduce cost, you need to ensure that your defects rate will be reduced, your customers will be happy, and how you can reduce the cost, how you can make your customer happy by having a documented set of procedures and processes in place. So ISO 9000 will help any organizations to enhance customer satisfaction, to meet the legal requirements, to have competent staff, to trade their products and services across the world, and it will be ensuring that operations are done on a consistent basis. In this course, we'll be having a set of modules, very comprehensive, but yet simple enough to help you get ready to find a job in real world. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Bob. Hey, Maggie, are you able to take a moment to talk to us all about the admissions requirements for this course? And in the event anyone's watching over Facebook, if you have a question that you want us to answer while we have Bob here, feel free to comment it. We'll get to that in a moment.
Thank you, Matthew. And to Bob, our instructor, thank you very much for sharing all the information that we need to know about this course. To all our viewers, hello, my name is Maggie, Admissions Officer for Continuing Education. And the ISO 9000 2015 Certification Training course will help the students to understand the intent of the ISO 9000 standard, and it will teach them to set up their own quality management system or successfully audit the ISO 9000 quality management systems. Students will have 8 weeks to complete this course, and this is live online. That will be starting on May 27 till July 22. Again, that will be starting on May 27 till July 22, and this is a part-time course. The webinars will be held every Thursday from 5 till 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The registration fee for this course is $890, and we have no admission requirements. You only need to register to be automatically enrolled. If you need to discuss further details, you may reach me at 604-891-1256 or send me an email at ceinfo@ashtoncollege.ca. Thank you, Matthew.
All right. Thank you, Maggie. All
Thank
right,
you.
Rika, do we have any Facebook viewer questions today?
Hi guys. We do have a pretty specific question from Facebook.
Ooh, actually,
Although I'm pretty sure we've already covered this a bit.
yeah, no worries.
So yeah, someone's asking. We are a small machinist shop, and we are interested in becoming ISO 9001 certified to expand our business. Will being certified open up possibilities for government work? Go ahead.
Yes. So, yeah, I can share my past example. I used to work for a trailer manufacturing company, and we did implement ISO 9001. The company was in Mississauga, Ontario. That certification opened a door for us, and we got a business from US government. So that's a real practical example, and that was in 2001, 2002. So for sure, if you can show that you have a standard internationally recognized quality management system, that's going to open the door for new business.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Rika. Okay, looks like we're about to wrap up for today. If you have any comments, concerns, questions after the fact, and are one of those people who will close it, walk away 5 minutes later, be like, darn it, should have asked. Um, You can email us at ceinfo@ashtoncollege.ca. That is ceinfo@ashtoncollege.ca. Or you can call us at 604-891-1256. That is 604-891-1256. You can also call us on a toll-free line, 1-866-759-6006.